creating the skirt part of this corset, we need a pattern paper. Now I'm going to fold my paper into two. You know, our pattern papers come this way. I'm going to fold it into two such that it should be as wide as 1/4 of my hip measurement. So if you are cutting a rectangular piece of paper, once you fold it into two, make sure that the width you have is 1/4 of your hip measurement. So now that we have this, what I'm going to do next is to actually put in the measurement. First of all, you need to understand the properties of velvet. Velvet stretches a whole lot. Like, it stretches is like ×2 of the stretch. So number one, for fabrics that stretch, do not add any seam allowance. Like, any fabric that stretches, do not add seam allowance. Now, depending on how the stretch is, velvet stretches a whole lot. Like lycra, like spandex, you need to remove some inches of whatever you are plotting. Okay, so I'm going to be removing 1 inch. So first of all, let's start plotting this. This is not as long as my skirt, so on the fabric I'm going to add the length. I'll be making the skirt straight. First things first, you measure your hip line, and my hip line is about 8.5 inches. First things first, I'm going to take my waist measurement. My waist is 33 inches. I do 1/4 of 33 inches. That's divide 33 by 4. Let's see. That will be 8.25. If I divide 33 by 4, I'll have 8.25. So I'll come to the top here. Come to the top from this folded edge. This is my folded edge here. So let me write center front there, CF. From this folded edge, I'm going to measure 8.25, which is here. I'll mark that point. On my hip line, I'll measure 11 inches because my hip is 44 and I divide it by 4. 11 inches, I mark it there. So this is what it should be if we are working with a fabric that does not have much stretch, and then all you need to do is add your sewing allowance. But because this fabric has stretch, I'm going to come to the edge here and remove 1 inch. Let's remove 1 inch. We can still sew more if by the time we're done and it's still too free, we can hold it in more. So let's do 1 inch. So that means the measurement here has reduced to 7.25 and the measurement here has reduced to 10 inches. Okay, now if this place is 10 inches, you want the measurement down also to reduce a whole lot. First of all, let's find the knee line. My knee line is about 18 inches. Please take all these measurements. My knee line is about 18 inches, so I'll draw that line there. Okay, so if here is 10, my knee line could be about 9 inches. It's going to shape to 9 inches from here, from this part here. I hope you get the gist. On the knee line, you want it to go in more, so you can decide to make it straight down. I'll just make it a bit straight and slanted. That front is having like a wrap effect. Great, so this is my back pattern. This is going to still be used for both my front and my back. Okay, I'm going to use this for both front and back. So let's cut the back first of all, because the back does not have any design. It's just plain like that. So let me place this on the fabric and cut my back first of all. Then we'll go back and manipulate for the front. So So make sure you're folding it self-edge to self-edge. Use the grain line. Why are we folding it that way? Because we want to make sure that we're folding it where the stretch is the maximum. Okay, along this way is where the stretch is maximum. So I'm folding. Right, so I have cut the back here on fold. I'm going to unpin now. I'll also remove the fabric so that I can work on the front pattern. So yeah, this is my back ready. I'll remove the fabric for the front. Okay, so for us to do the front, you open it up, draw your lines. Great, so now this is the hip line, and this is the knee. But if you look at that image very well, right, that wrap that is happening is actually even happening from almost mid hip and knee. It's not even getting to the knee for the wrap going on. Okay, so look at this. Upon analysis, it's coming somewhere from just a little below the hip, and I'll go just a little below the hip because this is even looking like it's from the hip line. So I'll come from somewhere just a little below the hip, and then we can just curve like to the, this one even curves right this way and goes down. So something like this, curve, right, and we go down. So that way, laps is showing, everything is showing. So yeah, this is what it is. You can use the same pattern. So I'll just cut off that part. I'll cut it off. Amazing. So this is what we're having for the front. This is the front pattern. So we can go ahead to put this on our fabric and cut as well. So we're cutting 2 pieces of this. We're not cutting on fold. Cut 2 pieces of this. Cut 2. Guys, I'm so sorry. I was cutting, I was explaining, I cut the fabric, I was explaining everything, not knowing that I did not press the record button. Let me quickly explain what I did. So I put my fabric right side facing up, okay? If you do not have enough fabric again, put it right side facing up. Put your paper on top, your pattern paper on top. It's this way. Okay, this one first. I cut this one first. So I put the fabric right sides facing up, right, like this. Then I put my pattern paper on top and cut out the outline. So I left about 2 inches here, and when I came to around this side, I left about just 1 inch. Why? We're going to use a hemming gum to hem this place. You are not just going to hold it with your hand and go and sew it on the sewing machine. It's going to give you ripply effect. We don't want that. So a hemming gum will be best for this. After I've cut one, I then took the pattern paper and placed it again on the other side of the fabric, okay? Because if you cut, or best things you can do is fold your fabric into 2, place this and cut it out. So you have 2 pieces, one for the left, one for the right. I've cut the one for the left. To cut the one for the right, you need to put the pattern this way. so that the full front skirt will be like this. I hope you get it. That's why this one is coming from that other way. I hope you get the skirt cutting. So this is how it will be, and this will be the slit in the middle here. So like I said, I make sure it is longer than what the pattern is, so that we can put hemming gum to finish this inner slit. I'll do that now. Now once I have done that, I'll come to explain what to do next. Great. So that inner has been ironed with the hemming gum, so you can see what I mean. You can see how it looks. You can decide to go over with a, like, sew it. You can decide to sew it, or you can leave it that way if you are sure you iron it well. If you are making it for a client, I'll advise maybe you sew or hand stitch or something. Okay, now this will be the one at the base below, depending on which one you want to overlap anyway. And then we'll put this one right on top here. So once you do this, you're going to use your thread, your sewing machine. Go to your sewing machine and sew this. If you want to pleat some things after you sew, you can just maybe pleat just one line, maybe like that, to make it come up a little, or just leave it that way. We'll sew here down to hold it, sew here down to hold it together, and sew the waist to hold it together. So let me go and sew the two sides and the waistline for the front. Okay, let's pin before we go. I'll sew the sides up onto this hip point, up onto this one under here. Just hold it together with a basting stitch and sew the waistline.